Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to draft a nested uniform directly on the fabric. So as you can see, this is folded and you're going to take your largest part, whether it's your bust adds 2 inches. My largest part is my hip circumference, so I've added 2 inches to it. Then your length, add 2 inches to your length also. So here at the top, we're going to put out 0.5 inch. Measure 0.5 inch from here as your starting line. Okay, then from here we're going to take your neck measurement, which is 3 inches neck width and 1 inch neck depth. Make sure you know that we're starting from the back piece. We're going to start with the back piece for this pattern. So go ahead and curve your neck. Then for my shoulder was 16 divided by 2, which is 8 inches. Then you can add 0.5 to it, then add 1 inch to the shoulder measurement. Okay, 0.5 will be for the sewing allowance, 1 inch will be for the joining of the seam that will pass through here. Then from the tip, go down by 1 inch and make your shoulder slant line. Okay, we know that our shoulders are not straight. Then from the slant line, you're going to go down by 8 inches, okay? My armhole is 16 divided by 2, which is 8 inches, which I'm going to just measure here. So from this line, this is your chest line. So I'm just going to extend this line. This is where we'll put our bust measurements. So from this line, you're going to put in your bust measurement. My bust was 40 divided by 4, which is 10 inches. Then add 1 inch for the seam that is going to pass through here. Then add 0.5 inch for your sewing allowance and 0.5 inch for ease. Remember, you're going to have 2 shoulder seams at the back of your dress. Then you can curve your armhole just like this. Next, we're going to measure your shoulder to waist measurement, which is at 16 inches shoulder to waist. So just put a point here. Remember, we're working with white fabric. We don't want to deaden this with lines. So from this line, put your waist measurement. So my waist was 34 divided by 4, which is 8.5. Then add 1 inch for the seam that's going to pass through here. Then add 0.5 sewing allowance, add 0.5 for ease, and add another 0.5 because we might want to tighten the waist with a dart. So go ahead and connect from your chest, from your armhole to your waist, just like this. Then from here, from the starting line here on top, you're going to go down by 24 inches. This is the distance from your shoulder to your hip measurement, 24 inches, and just make a point. We don't want to ruin white fabric with lines. So from this point, put your hip measurement. My hip measurement was 10.5 plus 1 inch for the seam that's going to pass here, then 0.5 for sewing allowance and 0.5 for ease. Okay, so altogether I'm going to have 12.5, which I'm going to move down to the bottom here. Okay, then I'm going to use my hip curve to join from the waist to the hip, then a straight ruler from the hip to the hem of the fabric. Then we can now move to the shoulder. We're going to put in our nipple to nipple measurement. So our nipple to nipple measurement is 4 plus 0.5 inch. So we're going to mark this at 4.5 inch. Okay, 4.5 inch. Then you can mark this even on the chest line. You can mark it on your waistline, on your hip line, and at the bottom of the dress. This is because the seam is going to come out to the bottom Okay, so 4.5, put notches where this 4.5 is at the bottom, and at the shoulder line put a notch to guide us to see and know where our 4.5 line is. Very important. Then we can cut out our dress. Okay, so we are done with our back piece. This is our back piece. Then at the shoulder, do take note that I've added 0.5 inch sewing allowance at the shoulder. Okay, then you're done with your back piece. Can you see how easy that is? Okay, so we're going to take note of the points that we put at the nipple to nipple measurement, both at the shoulder and at the bottom. So fold this line facing this side. Okay, fold this part of the material. Make sure that at the tip where the shoulder snip was made, and at the bottom where our 4.5 nipple to nipple measurement was made is where our fold is starting and ending. Do the same at the other part of your fabric, and do make sure that here where we put some notches, while we put these cuts, is where these folds are. Then the next thing that you're going to do, make sure that they match. Okay, you can pin them down from the side seam and then iron that. Okay, so I had pinned down mine so that my fabric does not move, and ironed it, and this is how it comes out afterwards. Okay, after the ironing, when you open it up, it should look like this. Okay, so these lines are going to be our guide. The center seam goes inward and the two are popping out. So we're going to now go to the front piece. So what you're going to do is get a piece of fabric with the same length and put it from this side to this side. Okay, so we make sure the fabric is here, starting from here, and it's going to end on this seam here. Okay, this seam which is here, make sure it's directly on this line like this. So it's coming towards the left side. Then we're going to get another fabric, okay, which will be coming the other way around, but it's going to cross from the center line by 2 inches. So mark 2 inches, 2 inches, so that you have a guide of where your fabric from this side will end. Okay, so put this fabric to match 2 inches that we put here from the center line. Okay, and we have put it perfectly at 2 inches. Then you can overlap the top piece which is going up to that seam. Then go ahead and put pins. So you can see I've pinned this down. Okay, so after you pin this down, you can now turn the fabric to the part where the back piece is. So here you're going to cut this out, the side, the armhole and the shoulder. Don't cut out the neck. Don't cut out the neck of the front piece, and make snips where these shoulder seams are. Make a snip here. Make sure the snips that you're making, these cuts, are protruding to the right, to the piece on the top and at the bottom. Then also where the neckline is starting and ending, make snips. Very important, guys. Then even at the bottom, make snips. This will guide you as you sew and continue to draft. Okay, so this is the back piece, and we're going to now shift it back to the front piece. So this is our front side, okay, which has got an overlapping, and you're just going to take out the seam which was pinning the front and back piece together, and just concentrate on pinning the front piece alone. So hold your fabric like this at the neckline and pin it Okay, make sure you hold it so that it doesn't move. Okay, so as you unpin, you continue to pin the front piece, just like I'm doing. Even at the bottom, make sure the parts that are overlapping are nicely pinned. Okay, for the front piece, we want to remove the back piece here, so just make sure you hold and pin the pieces that are overlapping for the front piece. Then we can now let go of our back piece and concentrate on the front piece. Okay, so this is our front piece, which is nicely pinned, and we're going to go to the neckline. Remember the snips that we made for the neckline. So my neckline is 6 inches. Get the midpoint of your neckline, okay, which will be at 3. Then from here you're going to go down by a neck depth of 3.5 inches. So just mark your 3.5, which will be the neck depth, then come up by 0.5 inch. Okay, come up by 0.5 inch, and on this line which we came up by, add 2 inches at this side and another 2 inches at the other side. Then you can go ahead and connect these tiny points to the neck width. So on this line here, you're going to make sure it's 4 inches, 2 inches, 2 inches at the other side. Okay, then we can now join it to the 3.5 inch depth, which is at the bottom. From here, join at the 3.5 mark, like this. Okay, then make a slanted line from this line here, which is already slanted. Okay, just like that. And let me just highlight this neckline so that you make sure it does look like this. Okay, then you can go ahead and cut the neckline only. Don't cut the slant. Okay, so cut the neckline for both the top part and the part that's at the bottom. Cut the neckline, and after you're done after cutting the neckline, you're going to now cut out this part of the slant. Don't cut it with the bottom part. Okay, so you now have something that looks like this, right? All right, so after this, you're going to go to the notches that we made. You remember the 4.5 notches for your nipple to nipple measurement? They extended up to the front pieces. So you're going to do the same thing that we did with the back piece. You're going to iron this, make the top part of the 4.5 and the bottom part of the 4.5 meet, make a fold from there, just as I'm doing, while the 4.5 are meeting. So I went ahead and ironed them like this, and this is how they look like. So I'm just going to go ahead and work on this part just to cut out this excess here. Then from this part, this is your left side, this is where your vent is going to be. So measure 12 inches upwards like this. This is where your vent is going to be. Okay, your vent is like a slit which is covered. Then from here, get your midpoint. Okay, then connect this line upwards. So if you don't want a vent, you can skip this part. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment, and don't miss out on the sewing tutorial of this pattern.